at a time. As long as the world is turning, I'll be by your side. We'll keep the fire burning. I'll never see you hurt. You know I can't explain it in a way of words. We both know that you'll understand, and you'll see if you take my hand, and I'll go out of my own way for you. I'll go out of my own way.
Hola, hola, buenas noches con todos. Bienvenidos a este gran evento. Tenemos nuestro tercer Fresh Talk el día de hoy. Así que tenemos un gran ponente y también muchos invitados. El día de hoy también nos está acompañando para abrir este evento Rosita. Hola, Rosita, ¿te encuentras por ahí? Hola, no sé si me logra escuchar. Hi, Rosita. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you, Helen?
Rosita, ¿qué tal? El día de hoy Rosita nos va a dar la bienvenida al evento.
Buenas noches, sean bienvenidos a esta nueva Fresh Talk. Vamos a dar inicio, ahora sí. Rosita, a ver, un momento, dame una opción. Bienvenidos a cada uno de ustedes, démosle las buenas noches a los presentes, invitándolos a que puedan participar. Ahí Helen está presente también aquí en el día de hoy. Y vamos a estar admitiendo a lo largo de la sesión a cada uno de los participantes que se han registrado en el evento del día de hoy. Vamos a iniciar con Rosita Mikes Anderson. Ella actualmente trabaja en una empresa de propiedad intelectual ubicada en Boston. Tiene una licenciatura intelectual en psicología de la Universidad de Massachusetts, Dartmouth, y una maestría en administración de empresas de Babson College. Actualmente es miembro de la junta directiva de 2 organizaciones sin fines de lucro en los Estados Unidos, las cuales son Partners in Development y AIP Business School. Por lo que ahora te encuentras, Rosita, para poder darte el pase y que nos puedas comentar tus palabras para dar inicio a esta Fresh Talk.
Thank you, Patricia. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to Fresh Talks. Thank you all so much for coming. Again, my name is Rosita Max Anderson, and I am a co-founder and board chair for AYP Business School. Fresh Talks is hosted by the nonprofit AYP Business School, also known as Aprende y Prospera Business School, which aims to raise levels of inclusion, socioeconomic development, and leadership of young visionaries with inclusive online training programs taught by diverse and multi-generational professionals. Again, I'm so happy for you all to join us today, and I'm thrilled to introduce to you all Professor Robert Schultz. Professor Robert Schultz is an entrepreneurship professor at Babson College. He is a life science ecosystem builder, and he is here to speak with us to share his experiences. And so I'd like to say once more a welcome to Professor Robert Schultz.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So I should just, how long do I have to give a little introduction or something?
Oh, Patricia, do you have the time?
I'm happy to just make it short or whatever. Okay. So I just wanted to welcome everybody and thank you again for having me here. It means a lot to me to represent my ecosystem and to be able to help people who aren't necessarily part of one of the major ecosystems of the world that's recognized. I believe there's power and potential in all parts of the world. So thank you. And I'm happy to answer any questions that people might have about what it might take in order to become not just part of the life sciences ecosystem, but also other industries as well. Because I've done the other industries, software, sustainability, IT services, etc.
Yeah, Robert, let me introduce the person who will help you today.
Wonderful.
Ya, el moderador en esta oportunidad es Juan Francisco Ayma para dar después pase a la exposición de Robert. Ahí justo nos acaba de dar una pequeña presentación, gracias también a Rosita, la cual también es parte del equipo directivo de AIP Business School. Por parte de Juan Francisco Ayma, actualmente quien va a ser el moderador, es también director académico de la especialización Project Management and Leadership in Second Edition. Él es emprendedor, catedrático y gerente de más de 10 años de experiencia. Juan Francisco, no sé si te encuentras el día de hoy, nos puedas comentar y dar tus palabras. Me parece que está teniendo unas dificultades de conexión. De igual manera, estamos seguros de que Juan Francisco va a poder reintegrarse en la sesión del día de hoy y va a poder apoyarnos en la Fresh Talk de Robert Schultz. Entonces, para dar inicio a esta Fresh Talk, comentarles que la especialización está siendo enmarcada desde preliminarmente nuestra Project Manager que se encuentra actualmente en Perú y la mayor parte también de los participantes se encuentran en Perú, pero también nosotros tenemos participantes de Ecuador, personas que también se encuentran siendo profesores de otros países, Panamá y en general, como la misión que tiene AIP de ser a nivel de latinoamericana y también a nivel de Estados Unidos. Así que para dar inicio a esta Fresh Talk, vamos a pedir que los participantes puedan compartir 3 cosas que les apasionan. Y de la misma manera, vamos a presentar a Robert Schultz. Él actualmente es un emprendedor serial, impulsor del ecosistema emprendedor en Estados Unidos y profesor de emprendimiento en Babson College, la mejor universidad de emprendimiento del mundo. Cuenta con más de 20 emprendimientos en su historia y actualmente se desempeña como director de MASSNEX, una consultora internacional con foco en ayudar a las iniciativas de mejora de la salud y calidad de vida. Es adicional a bachiller en negocios internacionales de la Northwestern University en Estados Unidos. Así que te damos bienvenida, Robert, a que puedas ser parte de esta Fresh Talk. También tenemos ahí la dinámica del día de hoy, que es que puedan comentar 3 cosas que apasionen ahí para que puedas iniciar. No, espero que nos puedas comentar cuáles son de las 3 cosas que más te apasionan y también, de paso, poder iniciar tu presentación.
Okay. Is it all right if I deliver, you want to know 3 things that I'm passionate about? Okay. Equality, just understanding, recognizing that all people have, dignity, the dignity of all people. So when it comes to business, that's something that I'm very passionate about, because you'd never know where innovation and the next idea might come from, or what part of the world it might come from. So that kind of brings me to the next thing, which is more about, bridge building an international business. I'm very passionate about, feel very lucky that I'm in Boston, which is very global now. And not everything in Boston is as global as the life sciences industry. But when you get into the life sciences industry, you will meet people from all of those countries that I just saw on the map, Peru, Colombia, etc. So it's amazing. So that's something that I'm very passionate about as well. And then the last thing is just something that is called patient advocacy. So this is a function and a philosophy within health that really we need to support patients first and understand things from the patient perspective. And so that's something that I am recognized for in the life sciences industry in Boston. But hablo un poquito español, pero no es perfecto. Tengo que practicar. Estudié en Madrid en 2001, 2002, pero mi comprensión es como nivel de quien tiene, alguien que tiene como 10 años, algo así, entonces muy limitado. Pero puedo entender más o menos lo que sé. So if I need to speak and translate a little bit myself, I can, but my Spanish is not as good as it used to be, we'll say.
No problema. Juan Francisco, ¿me logras escuchar? Bienvenido. Ya se encuentra con nosotros Juan Francisco, que nos va a ayudar con el tema de la traducción, Robert.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, because I'm sensitive about it, but ahora puedo funcionar en un restaurante, más o menos, pero no en malas reuniones y negocios. Es algo diferente, un nivel diferente. So ask me other questions.
Bueno, de repente, well, hello, Robert. Thank you very much for. Hi. It's a pleasure to have you here. And as you mentioned before, we're going to speak in English, but also we can speak in Spanish. And first of all, we want to say thank you. Thank you for your. Well, that's a little bit about myself, but it's not. It's not necessary. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think first of all, it's say thanks to you because we are very thrilled and we are very thankful to have you here. You know, this is our first talk in English, so it's a great honor. It's a great honor for us.
Oh, thank you.
And yes, and just to our students, I'm going to speak in Spanish. Si tienen alguna duda, pueden hacerla en español, ¿no? O sea, Robert, si bien es cierto, entiende español un poquito, pueden hacerla y yo hago la traducción en el peor de los casos, o yo los motivo a que también lo hagan en inglés, ¿no? Creo que es una buena oportunidad para que practiquen el inglés. Y no importa si sale masticado, no importa, creo que acá es una buena oportunidad para que todos practiquemos, estamos en un ambiente seguro. We are in a safe place. If the students want to ask you something in English, I think it's good. I think it's good. I think it's a good opportunity.
Absolutely.
Pueden hacer sus preguntas en inglés como quieran, o en español y hacemos la traducción. Y eso es una conversación, ¿no? Bueno, como dije, muchas gracias a Robert. Entiendo que ya hizo su introducción Robert, ¿no? Habló un poquito sobre lo que hace. You talk about a little bit about yourself, Robert, a little about your purpose, entrepreneurship, probably something about Babson, I think, because I recently entered the meeting, and that's great. And I encourage to our students, if you have any questions for Robert, please, the microphone is open. Si tienen alguna pregunta para Robert, por favor, anímense. Creo que es una buena oportunidad.
Dígame.
¿No? Exacto. El micrófono está abierto, ¿no? Igual tengo unas preguntas para Robert, pero preferiría que primero, si tienen alguna pregunta, pueden hacerlo también por el chat. Si tienen ahí Roche, no importa. If you have something, if you are kind of ashamed, don't worry. You can ask also for the chat. It's okay. I don't know. Anyone has a question? ¿Alguno tiene alguna pregunta? Bueno, de repente empiezo yo. Empiezo yo. Voy a hacer la pregunta primero. I'm going to ask the question first in Spanish, and then I'm going to do it in English. Mi pregunta es, ¿qué es emprendimiento para Robert, que viene de una universidad que es la mejor en emprendimiento en el mundo, y por qué es importante en el mundo de hoy y para nosotros los latinoamericanos, ¿no? And Robert, my question is, why is entrepreneurship, or what is entrepreneurship to you? And
What
maybe
is
why,
it?
what is it? And maybe why entrepreneurship is so important in today's world for us as a professional or as a Latin American students.
Wow. Entrepreneurship is a basic human right in a world where capitalism hasn't always been the main driver of society. But in today's society, it is. And so you're either creating something of value where other people work for you, or you're doing that work for somebody else in providing value, you know, doing their work, being a worker for them. There's honor in that. There's nothing wrong with working for somebody else in order to learn business. But if you want to get ahead in this society, you've got to think about what you're going to build, you know, so it's all about economic mobility as well. Right. And so the other reason why we need to care about entrepreneurship is governments know this, at least progressive governments know this, which is that all net positive job growth, like jobs are created by entrepreneurs who create opportunities out of nothing, right? Like the companies didn't exist prior to them. And then they come along and they find an economic opportunity where there's a business. They're able to put food on the table for families. That again, there's honor in working for somebody else. Maybe one of those families will go on to start their own business someday, right? And this is the way the cycle works. Where things start to break down is when it becomes really difficult for small businesses. We experienced that in the United States. Economic policies of governments, macro and micro level policies can really stifle innovation, and it makes people sometimes want to leave ecosystems. And what I'm talking about is brain drain. So entrepreneurship, if countries are doing it right, usually what you can tell is a lot of entrepreneurs want to stay in that country. Right, and that's usually a good sign of vitality, economic vitality. If not, then there's usually something else underneath the surface, right? And so I can talk about that, but what I'm getting at is the policy around entrepreneurship. It's not just an individual's right to put food on the table in a uniquely valuable way. It's also something that affects us all. We should care about supporting entrepreneurs because that's where the economy is going to come from. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Robert. I'm going to do the translation here.
Yeah.
And well, that's a very good answer. And I hope I can get all the main ideas that you want to transmit. And then I'm gonna do a summary.
Yeah.
Want to add something. Bueno, lo que Robert dice de manera muy extendida es, oye, emprendimiento para mí es un derecho humano, a human right, es un derecho humano, ¿no? Y que, digamos, este derecho humano conversa con tres cosas, ¿no? Primero, este derecho humano conversa con una política de emprendimiento que finalmente es la movilidad que hace que los emprendedores de alguna forma muevan al país, ¿no? Habló Robert también sobre el capitalismo en la sociedad que te permite trabajar para alguien, ¿no? Que de hecho no es nada malo, ¿no? O que tú mismo generes el trabajo para otras personas, lo cual puede ser interesante. Cuando habló de ese ciclo económico y donde generas trabajo para otras personas, es donde de repente se genera este ciclo en donde la economía se mueve y donde la economía beneficia al propio país, ¿no? Habló un poco también de que finalmente los trabajos son creados por los emprendedores, y habló de una realidad interesante. Jobs are created by entrepreneurs, not only in US, no solamente en Estados Unidos, but also in Latin America. En Latinoamérica, de hecho, también tenemos que probablemente el 80-85% de los empleos son creados por pequeños empresarios. Habló también de que los pequeños empresarios en Estados Unidos sufrieron. Small businesses in US suffered, and probably suffered in COVID pandemic, also in Latin America. En Latinoamérica también sufrieron muchísimo. Lo interesante es que si esos pequeños empresarios son los que generan la mayor cantidad de trabajo, y también son los que probablemente si generan negocio quieren quedarse en el país, el siguiente punto de Robert, ¿no? Probablemente ahí la oportunidad esté en cómo ayudamos a estos empresarios, cómo ayudamos a este derecho humano de ser un emprendedor para que siga mejorando este ciclo económico, para que siga mejorando esta política. Bueno, espero haber captado todo lo de Robert. Voy a hacer un resumen para que Robert me complemente. So Robert, I tried to summarize.
Yeah, that was great. I feel like I'm practicing my Spanish a little bit. Yeah.
That's great. And also, please, if you want to speak in Spanish something, that's great. But also, well, I think that the main ideas are that entrepreneurship is a human right, that actually there's some idea related with capitalism and society. In some way, it's a human right that drives society or drives this economic cycle to, enhance maybe society in general. Jobs are created by entrepreneurs. It's an honor also to work for someone else, but probably it's a different kind of, I don't know, maybe owner or different kind of experience to make your business and probably create your jobs. The majority of jobs are created by entrepreneurs. That's something else that you mentioned. And probably also entrepreneurs stay in the country. That's a good that's a good fact. In fact, these all facts maybe are summarized or are grouped in some policy, entrepreneurship policy probably, that works very well with this concept of human right, that in some way enhance all these activity in society, or those economic activities in society. I think that's the main idea that I try to transmit to students. I don't know if there's something else that...
No, I think I just think about, as an American, as somebody, we we do a lot of business. We have a lot of what we call sister cities with other places around the world, other innovation centers like Israel and Europe and all these different places. And I think that a lot of people aren't looking at Latin America, and they really should, right? And that's really what I just see the potential and how nice people are. And it doesn't feel like a foreign country, like a foreign, because Spanish isn't a foreign language in America, in the United States. So that just wanted to add that.
That's great. That's great, Robert. Thank you. Thank you very much. And also we have some questions here. Joaquín, de repente quieres hacer esa pregunta en español o inglés a Robert, si te parece, si quieres.
As a double.com. What is espejismo? Espejismo? I don't know.
It's kind of I think the word is mirage. Mirage,
Mirror.
Reflect. Well, it's a mirror, but actually it's a mirage, and you reflect your image in something else. Espejismo, I think.
Could you paraphrase for that? It's a good. I feel like it's a very smart question.
Yeah.
Está comparado con el fenómeno de la burbuja.com. No sé si lo ubican ese fenómeno.
Do I think it's going to happen again?
Maybe, sí, de repente, Joaquín, ¿se puede extender un poco más el concepto de la burbuja, el fenómeno de la burbuja.com para explicarle a Robert?
Sí, bueno, este fenómeno se dio el hecho de que todos los negocios iban a hacer, grandes negocios, teniendo, la incorporación de las tecnologías de la información, etcétera. Básicamente que todo el mundo tuviera su sitio web, y que eso los iba a posicionar, como eso, potenciar sus negocios como grandes negocios. Y pues resultó que eso finalmente fue una especie de boom, que la crítica allí fue que todo eso fue como un espejismo, un engaño, donde hubo un gran fracaso, y eso se ha asociado con el fenómeno de que todo el mundo quiere ser emprendedor, y finalmente pues pareciera como alguna similitud que pudiera caer en esa burbuja que en algún momento truena o revienta la burbuja y cae uno en la realidad de que finalmente no era del todo cierto. No sé si alcancé a explicarlo.
Perfecto. Sí, te entendí, Joaquín. Voy a explicarle ahorita a Robert en inglés. Robert, I think the idea here is more than this concept of espejismo or mirage, something like that. It's more like an illusion. Okay, what happened here is what Joaquin is explaining is that maybe the question is entrepreneurship in Latin America, or the rise of entrepreneurship in Latin America, an illusion? And probably because we have very, very good numbers. And the concept and the relationship here that Joaquin is saying is that with this .com phenomenon, because a lot of websites .com were created, and probably the majority was a failure, and that's a concept of an illusion. A lot of websites growth in some place in some period, but it's kind of illusion, because it doesn't state anything special about a business and anything special about entrepreneurship. What happened in Latin America? It's something similar, in your opinion?
I don't. I think that the company. So I teach at Babson College, which is well regarded for entrepreneurship around the world, and one of the frameworks that we have is this framework called entrepreneurial thought in action, which is really all about recognizing a problem, like a real problem that's being solved. And what I'm going to tell you is that much of the entrepreneurship that you see isn't actually new value being created. It's people starting service businesses and being very resourceful about understanding where the economic activity might be. For example, starting a web development company, but they're in Peru. Starting some kind of service business, but you're in Latin America. That's great. And I love seeing that. I wish and I hope that many of you, if you have these kinds of contacts and people that you could introduce me to offline, I would love to meet these people and get many of my companies introduced. But what I would much rather see is you start the next Facebook, the next Twitter, the next real companies, so that you're hiring us to work for you or something. Right? Like real product companies started by Latin American entrepreneurs, because then what that's going to do is create an ecosystem of investment. What you're going to have are going to be European and every other American and every other investment community in the world is going to be flying into Peru and everywhere else, just looking for the next good investment. You're not there yet, but I could see that being with the right kind of steering, like with this program and the right mentors. In today's world, information has been democratized. The fact that I can get on a Zoom call right now and tell you this is an amazing thing, right? Like we don't have to wait for this to happen, like the Titanic hitting, the iceberg. Like we can make policy decisions. We can have companies and organizations like yours come out. The people and the information travels so fast that you can model yourselves after successful blueprints that other ecosystems have followed. So why try something new if you know what already works, right? And so this is, entrepreneurship 101. So I could go on and on about this, but I see huge potential in Latin America. Everyone's been talking about Brazil for years and years. In Boston, we have a very big Brazilian population, so a lot of people have kind of tried that already. For the rest of Latin America, I think that Chile has a really big connection to Boston. They have Chile Mass. So the government of Chile is actually making policy decisions with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and doing business, helping business. The other countries, I think you have an opportunity to make friends with places like New York, Boston, California. And the fact is, many of us, we don't really like where we live now. It's become expensive, the weather's not so nice. There's an opportunity for us to link up into location means a lot to us now, but it also could mean a lot to you to get access to our ecosystem. And so, I am what I believe in is the power of the ecosystem. And if you're not in an ecosystem that supports entrepreneurship, then it's going to be very difficult for you. So I'll stop there. I think that I don't believe that. I just see that there's so much opportunity that has not been. Someone hasn't come along. Someone hasn't gone to a program and then gone back to, Peru and been like, hey, I'm going to start the next big Facebook because I have the big opportunity. I understand the culture. I know that here the operating, budget's going to be a lot lower than it would be in the United States. There's a lot of good reasons to start a company there versus here that would make you look like a superstar. It would make you look like you're Einstein. All because you recognize how to work the two countries off of each other. And I'm surprised more people don't do that already, but maybe I can help you do that.
That's great, Robert. Thank you very much. I'm going to do the translation right now.
Yeah.
Y sí, Patricia, continuemos con las preguntas. Robert, we have like 20 questions. Wow. Well, we hope that we can,
So I'll make it faster, yeah.
Juan Francisco, pero, perdón que te cortes, Juan Francisco, es que tenemos 20 preguntas, pero tranquilo, la idea es que hasta donde podamos tener a Roberto, solo que los chicos nos enviaron, tenemos 79 personas participando, preguntas por todos lados, así que hemos colocado las más relevantes, por si acaso.
Está perfecto. We have 80 people right now, Robert, and we have a lot of questions. So yes, okay. The idea is we keep the conversation and we hope that we can answer the majority of these questions. Well, I'm going to do the translation right now. Bueno, Robert, lo que decía Robert es, oye, la pregunta de la burbuja, ¿no? De repente el crecimiento en Latinoamérica en emprendimiento es como una burbuja, como el .com. Su respuesta en corto es no. Él viene de Babson, que es la mejor universidad de emprendimiento del mundo, ¿no? Entonces, su respuesta se enfocó a soportar el emprendimiento, ¿no? Dijo, bueno, existe un framework de trabajo que se llama Thought and Action, que es pensar y hacer, donde se basa todo eso en encontrar una problemática, y para esa problemática encontrar una solución interesante. Y esa solución es un valor que se aporta a la sociedad, y ese valor viene con el concepto de emprendimiento. Y puso ejemplos, ¿no? Ese emprendimiento en Latinoamérica, como puede ser, por ejemplo, un web develop, ¿no? Como puede ser, tal vez, encontrar un nuevo Facebook, incluso nos llamó de repente, podemos ser unos Einstein, porque tenemos muchos beneficios dentro de la location, ¿no? La idea es, Latinoamérica tiene muchos beneficios para crecer, el emprendimiento es bueno y aporta valor para el desarrollo de la sociedad. Babson y Robert cree mucho en eso, ¿no? Y nosotros como latinoamericanos tenemos muchas ideas que han beneficiado mucho al desarrollo de nuestra sociedad, ¿no? Puede ser inclusive beneficios en la locación, por ejemplo, Robert mencionó inclusive el clima, ¿no? Como un ejemplo, o los costos, temas de presupuesto, si quiero de repente encontrar a alguien como Facebook, o some developers, ¿no? Alguien que trabaje en sistemas, alguien que nos pueda ayudar en eso, probablemente Robert va a encontrar personas aquí a un menor costo, y nosotros podemos aprender de repente de los retos en América. Y bueno, finalmente habló de mucho potencial, habló de los casos de Brasil, habló del caso de Chile, brindó varios ejemplos, pero finalmente la respuesta en corto es sí. Y complementando a Robert, de hecho yo también lo creo, ¿no? Creo que el crecimiento en emprendimiento, y por todos los números en muchos países de Latinoamérica, y mucho en Perú también, se justifica y va correlacionado con el crecimiento de la economía. Entonces, creo que es una buena apuesta y podemos seguir apostando por el emprendimiento, ¿no? But thank you very much, Robert. I tried to summarize all
I'm impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, but actually, the short answer is yes. You say that entrepreneurship is important, and in Latin America, and actually, it's not like an illusion. It's more than that. And I love this framework of thought and action from Babson. But yeah, you talk a lot about that, and I try to transmit that to our students.
Mm-hmm.
Bueno, muchas gracias por la pregunta. A ver, no sé, ¿alguien más quiere hacer una pregunta de micro abierto o voy leyendo aquí? Voy a dejar.
Sí, por favor, buenas noches. Hello, Robert. I need to know about what is the difference about undertake and bids and a company, please.
What kind of company?
I don't know.
To start a company?
Yes.
No.
What's it take to start a company?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I think that at the heart of what you do, you have to care about your customer. You have to care about the value, whatever that new value is that you're creating. That's probably one of the most important things, because that's where all your money's coming from.
Yeah.
That's you're not a company. A lot of people build software, an app, some new product that they think is a product, but it's not a real product until you have a customer. So I think customers is the most important thing.
Thank you very much, Robert. There
Okay.
we. Perfect. You understand the answer of Robert?
Oh, customers? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
What?
Yes. Yeah. I've asked to Darwin. Yes,
Oh.
perfect word.
Okay,
Thank you
good.
very much for your answer. And what Robert said, I'm going to do the translation. Lo más importante es el cliente, ¿no? El cliente ante todo, ¿no? Tienes que analizar también el valor de lo que estás ofreciendo, tienes que analizar probablemente la problemática, pero si no entendemos al cliente, probablemente no vamos a entender por dónde estamos comenzando ni qué estamos solucionando. Entonces, si queremos empezar una empresa, tenemos que comprender bien quién es ese cliente y quién es ese segmento, ¿no? Al cual vamos a ofrecerle un servicio o al cual vamos a solucionar un problema. So the customer is the most important thing. Sí.
Juan Francisco, ¿qué tal? Tengo una pregunta que me están repitiendo en las redes sociales, que veo mucho, y nos dicen, what is the key to the start? ¿Cuál es la clave para emprender? ¿Cuál, digamos, son los pasos a seguir o los tres que nos podía dar Robert para aquellos que quieren emprender y tienen un temor o no saben cómo dirigirse o cómo lograrlo?
Maybe, gracias, Helen. Maybe the question, Robert, here that Helen is transmitting for our students from social media is that what is the key to start an entrepreneurship? And probably beyond customer, maybe you have, yes, you have maybe some advice for our students to,
Yeah, well, there's this expression, fail fast. Everyone, when I started out, I didn't call myself an entrepreneur. I was really what they call a wantrepreneur. I didn't have a company. I really wanted to be around those people though, and I knew that was where I wanted to be as a creator of companies. But I was searching for a problem. I didn't have anything yet to inspire me that really guided me and told me why I wanted to be an entrepreneur. It was more of a function than it was the why. And so what you need you need to be functionally good at something, whether it's marketing or sales or finance or accounting or law or whatever it is that you do. But you also need a why. And that is in your industry. These are big problems that big companies still haven't solved yet. That should be part of your why. And I think start there. And that's really the genesis of where everything comes after that.
And maybe the question here is how you can find your why.
It's internal to us. It's when you look in the mirror and you have something in your life that some problem that affects you or somebody that you love personally. For me in healthcare, it's easy because, we all are affected by the health issues of some way, shape, or form. But for other people, maybe they're really in the food. Their passion is all about food. Or maybe it's travel. Maybe it's sports. Immerse yourself in that culture of the people who do that. Don't assume that you are representative of everybody in that industry. And maybe what you will start to discover, you will start to learn some things about other people that share in the same problems that you do. And if it's something that you love, like maybe someone in your family had cancer and you're trying to advocate for them, or maybe it's something like you play soccer, football, or tennis, and you're trying to get involved in a company that makes tennis stuff. I don't know. It has to be something that you want to breathe every day. Right. So there's a lot of examples of people who start companies because they know about the industry as a customer, but they don't know about what it's like to be on the other side. Like to own a restaurant is a lot different than to go to a restaurant as a customer. Right. So I don't know though. I can't answer what that why is for you, but like as a broadly speaking to this group right now, but I guarantee that if I spend 20 minutes talking to you, I could probably reveal what motivates you in your life and what you really want to do next. I mean, a lot of people have a hard time kind of being honest with themselves about that. And the reality is this is hard. I mean, we're trying to develop a business, but it takes a lot of inspirational, you go through so to get to the why, you go through different phases, right? So in the very beginning, you go through the inspiration phase, and you're just out there immersing yourself and talking to people. After that, you might start to see the same problem repeating itself over and over again. Then you start to say, hey, maybe I have an idea. But don't jump into that idea just to say you have an idea. It has to be something that you've done a lot of research on, a lot of due diligence. But what's motivating you is the passion for solving that problem. That's your why. So if anywhere of you want to reach out to me on my LinkedIn, I'm happy to help you discover your why.
That's great. That's great, actually. And we take your word definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a translation here. What Robert is saying, lo que Robert está diciendo es que por favor todos miren su LinkedIn. Everyone look at your LinkedIn now. Wow, that's good. Robert dice, si tienen alguna pregunta o si quieren hablar para descubrir su propósito, o hablar un poco más sobre esta motivación para hacer emprendimiento, por favor, cualquiera puede escribirle a su LinkedIn. Robert ha hecho extensa la invitación. Luego le pasamos su LinkedIn por el chat. Y en corto, lo que Robert ha dicho es, oye, ¿qué es importante o cuál es la llave para comenzar con los emprendimientos? Bueno, nombró 3 conceptos. Nombró ser buenos funcionalmente en algo, functional good in something, ¿no? Ser buenos en algo puede ser marketing, puede ser leyes, puede ser finanzas, puede ser lo que sea, pero lo más importante de esto es, puedes ser bueno en algo, pero lo que te va a motivar constantemente es un propósito, y la pregunta de por qué lo haces, ¿no? Why, ¿por qué lo haces? Lo que le preguntaba a Robert es, ¿por qué? Oye, perfecto, ¿y cómo encuentras el why? Y Robert le dice, oye, es una parte muy interesante, pero que todo se resume en la pasión por resolver un problema que te encante. Tiene que ser algo interno a nosotros, ¿no? En el caso de Robert es algo relacionado a salud. Para otros puede ser la comida, para otros puede ser traveling, para otros puede ser viajes, ¿no? Pero finalmente tenemos que encontrar lo que nos apasiona y meternos en esta cultura de la gente. Más allá de solamente ser el consumidor, lo que Robert decía es, hay un ejemplo donde de repente muchos empiezan un negocio porque sienten el lado del consumidor, pero no es suficiente. Tenemos que conocer a las personas, no tenemos que dar las cosas por sentado, y tenemos que meternos en esa cultura, conocer a la gente y amar una problemática que tienen estas personas y amar la solución, ¿no? Y bueno, y Robert dice, bueno, quien quiera hablar sobre ese tema de propósitos, quien no lo conozca, encantado de resolverlo. But thank you very much, Robert, for the invitation. Thank you very much for the answer. And actually, we have other question here. Maybe Leslie. Leslie, ¿quieres hacer la pregunta?
Ok, gracias, Francisco. Yo vivo también en Boston y me gustaría hacer la pregunta directamente en el idioma inglés a Robert.
Claro que
So,
sí.
Robert, what if we were going backwards and we don't have a need? How do you figure out the questions to get to that need?
Mm-hmm.
So say I'm very passionate about the service industry in real estate, investing in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, it seems to me like everything has been invented. You know,
Mm-hmm.
everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
How do we figure out what's a need or where is a niche
Mm-hmm.
that I can go into? I know that I'm passionate about that, and I know that I want to dedicate my life to that.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you create those questions where you
Mm-hmm.
say, wait, there is Nobody doing that. Or maybe there is a need that I can supply that it hasn't been resolved, or the needs someone here to figure out how to help this population or something like that. I don't know if I explained myself correctly.
Yeah, no, did you say you were in Boston?
Yes, I live in Lawrence.
Oh, wow. Okay, very good. Let's connect. I think what you are asking me reminds me a lot of when I started out as a health entrepreneur, because what I discovered was Boston is #1 in the world for biotech and life sciences. But even with all of these smart people in the same room, still only 13% of clinical trials succeed. So smart people can't answer all the questions all the time. Even big companies with high-paid experts can't solve these problems. So as an entrepreneur, that can mean one of two things. You can either quit and just say, well, what can I do? What can I possibly do in comparison to what all these, I don't have those kind of resources. Or you can use something that I don't think a lot of people recognize is really the genesis of all of this is your willingness to want to do it in the first place. Your love for whatever that problem is that you're trying to get at, that industry. So for you, it's real estate. If you love this industry and you want to do this industry, you have to immerse yourself in this industry. And that doesn't mean going on the internet and doing internet research only. You have to do a lot of internet research. You have to try to seek out new ideas of what other, real estate apps and different kinds of things are happening. But you're not going to know if something is truly novel. And you're not going to know if something really has value for a customer until you go out there and you ask people. Right? So the more that you get out there and you do this, what they call networking, this is the term that everyone uses for it. Networking can mean different things for different people. Sometimes networking for people is, I want to find my next job, and I don't know, maybe I'll meet somebody at a party or a dinner or drinks or something. Sometimes if you're an entrepreneur, networking is you're going out trying to find people at real estate companies to ask them about some of their problems, right? You're trying to get access to different networks so that you can maybe develop an idea, right? But right now, if you're at stage 0, that's okay. That's okay. A lot of people don't get to that point. If what you want to do is real estate, we can talk offline. You just need to immerse yourself in different kinds of networking groups, different property technology, that kind of stuff. And I think what you'll find is that you're probably one person away from changing your entire career forever. Because something that you're passionate about real estate, you're going to connect with them on. And, you don't know where the next opportunity might be. So I can't really I can't speak more broadly than that. More refined than that because I'm speaking broadly to the group. But I think that if you're at this stage where you're an entrepreneur, you have this willingness that you know that you want to do something, you have this kind of personality type, that's great. But what you need to do is you need to start learning, researching, immersing your whole life in that thing that you claim that you're going to be doing. You don't know where what that golden idea is eventually going to be. But eventually you're going to meet some people who share a view of the world like you, and maybe you'll develop an idea at that point, and you'll do what they call a design sprint, and you'll develop an idea later on. But at this stage, what you're looking to do is just identify some problems. You're just not there yet. So all of you, this is the kind of stage that I have to say is all of you, it doesn't matter what you're looking to do, you have to go out within the thing that you love and try to solve problems, because that's what people are willing to pay money for. Products that solve problems. So I'll stop there.
All right. Thank you so much, Robert.
Oh, thank you.
I'll touch base with you tomorrow.
Thank you. Nice to hear
Thank you very
from
much,
Lawrence.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Robert. And I'm going to summarize the answer of Robert. What Robert say, bueno, en Spanish, what Robert say, bueno, en general la pregunta de Leslie, y de repente me corriges, es, Leslie, tu pregunta era, oye, tú ya tienes identificada una idea, vayamos un paso más hacia atrás, ¿no? O sea, ¿cómo hacemos para empezar sabiendo que existe esta idea y estamos motivados de repente en un tema en particular, ¿no? En el tuyo me parece que era el tema inmobiliario. Y lo que Robert decía de forma muy explayada, en verdad, es el concepto de networking, ¿no? Networking. Tenemos que immerse ourselves, tenemos que meternos de repente en un network con personas que están interesadas en lo que nosotros queremos hacer o en lo que nosotros amamos, ¿no? Y entender muchísimo más sobre esta problemática que existe, sobre este consumidor que también existe, y sobre eso ir descubriendo qué se puede hacer en el camino, ¿no? Lo que Robert decía es, él vive en Boston, al igual que Leslie, y ahí hay muchas personas inteligentes. No existe persona inteligente que pueda resolver todo. Siempre, inclusive los más inteligentes, va a haber cosas que no pueden resolver. Entonces, si nosotros tenemos la motivación de ser emprendedores, si nosotros tenemos esa personalidad, probablemente tenemos el camino hacia adelante para, pues, seguir investigando, ¿no? Y que no nos dejemos llevar porque existen otras personas que piensan o que son más inteligentes que nosotros, sino que nosotros vayamos por el lado de la pasión y la motivación para encontrar justo esa problemática que queremos abordar, ¿no? Y nuevamente el tema del network, hablar con personas que comparten esa similitud, ese amor, o que simplemente comparten ese interés, nos va a permitir aprender constantemente. Well, thank you very much, Leslie, for your question. Thank you very much, Robert. And I think, well, we have other questions. Robert, I don't know if you have time because we are
I could go a little longer, absolutely. Maybe a couple more questions.
Perfect, Robert. Thank you very much. I'm gonna do this question in English. The question that we're showing right now in the slide, and the question is, maybe what are the specific challenges that Latin American startups faced in early stages, and how are they solved? They're solving these challenges.
So what do I think? What do I think the challenges are that Latin American companies face? Here, the problem that Latin American companies face is that if we meet you here, or if we meet you online, say on LinkedIn or through email and introduction, and we get on a Zoom call, the first question we have for you is, so when are you coming here? We want you here. We don't want, even though we might call you a Latin American company and you might have plans to someday work with the home country or the home ecosystem, investors won't invest in you unless you are incorporated here in Massachusetts. Even not even in California. Like if you're in California and you want to get an investor from Massachusetts, oftentimes they'll make you move your company to Massachusetts. So we're very territorial, and there's a lot of legal reasons for why that happens, right? So that's a big barrier to companies that are coming here and want access, because it means that you have to live in the United States, you have to operate in the United States, you have to set up a Delaware corporation here. Even though I'm sure there's amazing technologies, amazing entrepreneurs that just can't afford to move to the United States and set up a corporation, right? So I think this really is a problem, because it means that only the wealthy are able to get access to, to the ecosystem. That's what I think. there are some racial barriers from the United States perspective sometimes when it comes to working with, again, Latin American companies, like not necessarily recognizing, just basically a lot of Americans, I don't know if you've read the news, but people in Florida aren't exactly some of the smartest people, even though they speak Spanish there. They have a lot of misconceptions about Latin America and immigration and these kinds of things. So I think that's another hurdle that you have to overcome. But I'm very positive about this. I'm very optimistic. That's why I'm here today, because I believe that there's so much more upside to understanding now what it's going to take in order to get all these ecosystems going.
That's great. Thank you very much, Robert. And do you think maybe there's some opportunity to being tackled by Latin American entrepreneurs? We have very good numbers, but maybe there's something that is missing. I don't know what you think.
Yeah. What needs to happen is, how do you say this? Like, there's big opportunities to do things, especially related to things like sustainability, agriculture. I know some people that are involved in biotech there aren't necessarily thinking about health sciences for, like human health sciences, but more like agricultural innovation. These kinds of things, which many of these countries have been reliant on these industries for so long that it's in their best interest to do these kinds of things too. So, I think the real opportunity though is going to be because I think one of the things that you're seeing now is digital nomads, right? You're seeing these people from the United States that don't want to live in San Francisco, Boston, big metro areas anymore. They want to kind of like have a better quality of life. And so they're going to Latin America, and they're going to living in places like Medellin and, Buenos Aires and, like all these places that Americans used to not go to. And this is really stuff that happened during COVID, during the pandemic. These kind of Americans that were doing this, the amenities are it's like the living costs are cheap. All these things are cheap. I don't know yet if this is an opportunity for your ecosystems or if this challenges your ecosystem, because it means that the costs are going to go up for you, right? Because tourism, call it whatever it is, economic tourism. So I don't know. So that's, again, I think that's where the opportunities are probably more. There's so many more opportunities I think for people who own, how do I want to explain this? Accept where they're from, love their country, love their people, and sort of recognize culturally what you do well. Not everyone can do everything well, right? But there's certain things that certain countries do really well. So if you're from Peru and you start talking to me about food, I'm going to believe you. Because Peru has fantastic food. And it goes for every country of the world has their thing that they do really well. So the Latin American countries, you need to focus in on what you do really well and develop around that. Right? Don't try to play somebody else's game. That's I think foolish. Right? Like, try to focus on what you do well and own it. And have that strong identity. That's the only thing I can say. And I think that's where your strength is going to come from.
Thank you very much, Robert. That's great. I'm going to summarize your answer here. Lo que Robert decía es, bueno, principalmente lo que nos falta a nosotros latinoamericanos es enfoquémonos en el mercado y lo que nosotros hacemos bien, ¿no? Si nosotros somos peruanos y hablamos de comida, probablemente Robert nos va a crear. Enfoquémonos en lo que culturalmente nos hace distintos, y ese valor cultural probablemente podamos explotarlo de cierta forma de emprendimiento, y la gente nos va a escuchar, aquí o internacionalmente, ¿no? Habló también sobre dependencias de sostenibilidad, agricultura, innovación en esto, ¿no? Y digamos, podemos entrar también en ese trend que nos puede traer muchos beneficios, ¿no? Y lo que también Robert decía de forma resumida es, si es que, ¿qué pasa de la perspectiva de Robert, ¿no? Siendo él en Boston, siendo él estando en US, si nosotros queremos hacer negocios con US, probablemente son más territoriales, inclusive a veces hay cierto racismo. Entonces, a veces para empezar negocio ahí, tenemos que estar ahí, seguramente tenemos que estar ahí un buen tiempo. Entonces, espero que con eso hayamos respondido esa pregunta. Helen, ¿tienes una pregunta?
Sí, Juan Francisco, tengo una pregunta de LinkedIn que nos están haciendo. Acá en Latinoamérica, Robert, hay muchas incubadoras y querían saber si en Estados Unidos y en otros países también se brindan incubadoras para estos, para aquellos guerreros que quieren emprender, ¿no? Porque muchos saben que acá actualmente en universidades o en instituciones, ONGs, hay startups donde pueden emprender y hay incubadoras. También allá en Estados Unidos, por Boston, hay incubadoras. Quieren saber eso. Se viene repitiendo esa pregunta.
Definitivamente. Robert, the question is, if in US, there are some business incubators for startups. Probably an example is Y Combinator. I don't know, yeah. Maybe in Boston, in Babson, some, incubators that you can refer to us.
Yeah. So Mass Challenge is probably going to be your go-to place. I recommend Mass Challenge because they have something called the Bridge to Mass Challenge program. You can actually apply virtually without having to leave your home countries and get access to the mentors here.
It's from Babson?
No, that's through Mass Challenge. It's masschallenge.org. I'll put it right now.
Okay.
And so they're the world's largest accelerator incubator program. So I differentiate between accelerators and incubators the following way. An incubator is when they take something. It's when, like Einstein, or like somebody, like basically somebody who incubates an idea, takes somebody's idea, puts a little bit of money into it, and then the idea becomes bigger, like you incubate it. An accelerator program is something different. I wouldn't steer you towards an incubator program yet, not until you have more of a product market fit. An accelerator program is a little bit different. It's more about you're at some early stage of development of your idea and you want to speed it up. So they help you to socialize your idea within a network of experts, customers, partners, investors, all the kinds of people that it would take you to very quickly develop your idea. And I think the reason why you should want to do an accelerator program is because they don't take anything. They take nothing. You have mentors and they get, goodness of their hearts for doing the volunteer work. While incubators are investors. They're looking to take a little bit of money from you, a little bit of your livelihood away. So that's what I think. So that's the big one in Boston's Techstars. There's a lot of industry specific ones. There's one called Greentown Labs, but these are companies that are much further along and have equity to offer, that kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you, Robert. Bueno, la respuesta de Robert ha sido, Mass Challenge es la más grande incubadora de negocios. Ahí puesto Robert el mensaje en el chat, masschallenge.org, ¿no? Y uno puede aplicar virtualmente, así que buenísimo, podemos buscarlo. Él habló sobre incubadoras y aceleradoras. La gran diferencia es que las incubadoras toman algo, son más inversores, y estamos hablando para etapas donde el negocio tiene que probablemente encontrar una problemática, ¿no? Y las aceleradoras buscan algo distinto. Son más personas, mentores, que por su propia voluntad quieren ayudar a crecer los negocios, a encontrar lo que se llama un product market fit, para hacer el speed up. O sea, ya se tiene trabajado una idea y se tiene trabajado probablemente un producto, quieren crecer, ¿no? En corto, la respuesta es Mass Challenge, así que tenemos una super referencia de Robert, ahí tenemos para buscarla. Thank you very much, Robert, for that reference math challenge. We're going to search it, definitely.
Juan Francisco, bueno, no sé si quieres agregar algo más. Sé que los chicos tenemos muchísimas preguntas, se nos han quedado muchas preguntas acá en el tintero, la gente sigue preguntando. Yo creo que sería fabuloso tenerlo nuevamente a Robert con nosotros. No sé si quieres agregar algo más. Te invito a que de todo corazón me agradezcas a Robert. Hay muchos chicos que se quedaron nuevamente, repito, con muchas preguntas. Yo creo que nos vamos por un cuarto Fresh Talk porque a la gente les ha encantado. Les ha encantado este espacio y sobre todo esta gran apertura y consejos que nos está brindando Robert.
Muchas gracias, Helen. Robert, so we are in time right now. And actually what Helen is saying that it has been a great pleasure to have you here. And actually Helen said that she's wholeheartedly thankful for your patience, for your help, for students. And actually, we have a lot of questions left from our students because a lot of questions are continually asking to you because we didn't have enough time. We are not able to do that right now, but probably for the next occasion, we could have the opportunity to have you here. Of course, you're invited. If you want to be here, you're great. We're very great to have you here. And well, hope you enjoyed this conversation, the question for our students, and I hope we can see you again.
Yeah, very good questions. Thank you everybody. Very good questions. And please connect with me on LinkedIn and provide a short introduction about what you need, what you want, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have and provide a more detailed response.
Juan Francisco, antes de retirarnos, quiero invitar a todos los chicos a que prendan sus cámaras para tomar una foto de recuerdo, porque lo vamos a postear en nuestras redes sociales y aprovechemos que está Robert acá y todos podamos prender nuestras cámaras, sería ideal. No sé si me ayudas ahí, Patricia, en dejar, en dejar de compartir, por favor, para poder ver las cámaras de todos.
Sí, claro. It's photo time, Robert.
Okay.
Great, thanks. Muchas gracias, Helen. Muchas gracias a todos. Nada, ha sido súper chévere. Muchas gracias, Robert. Thank you very much, Robert. And Helen, dinos, ¿cuándo hacemos cheese?
Ok, a la cuenta de 3. Ahí va. 1, 2 y 3. Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias a todos los participantes. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
It's a
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
Gracias, Juan Francisco. Que tengan linda noche y esperemos tenerlos en el próximo Fresh Talk. Gracias, Juan Francisco. Gracias, Rosita.
Gracias.
Thank you. Good night.
Gracias, Rosita. Thank you, Robert.
Gracias.
Thank you, Rosita. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
Great evening.
Recording stopped.